now I'm pleased to introduce our president, who is speaking for us today, Linda Patten. Three unique influencers, Linda Patten. Get away.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Honored guests, members. I have to tell you, I hated speaking. I mean, Cynthia talked about being scared to death to speak. I actually went, I will never speak in front of groups of people. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to share with you three people who made a difference in my life around speaking. The first you probably heard about. I was 5. I had a role in, 'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And I got to my last 2 sentences and I couldn't remember. Oh my God, what were they? I turned to my coach. She mouthed them for me. I turned back. I gave the last 2 lines, stepped back, bowed. I was done, thank God. At the end, my mom and dad ran up on the stage, hugged me, told me how wonderful I was. But there was this little old lady standing back in a corner, my grandmother. She's got her arms crossed. She's got a scowl on her face. I ran up to her and I go, Grandma, how did I do? Linda Ann Frank. You should never stand up in front of groups of people and talk. You're not very good at it. Ooh. At which point she turned and walked away. I almost fell to the ground. How would you feel? Would you ever speak again with that kind of message from a woman who was a huge influencer in my life? I have to be honest with you. I didn't speak unless I had to for a long time. Fast forward. Number 2. I was in the United States Army. I had just gotten out of WAC Officer Basic. That's the Women's Army Corps basic training. And even though I had asked to go to Vietnam, my fiance had been killed in Vietnam, and I really wanted to complete his mission. Even though I couldn't fly helicopters, I wanted to be there to do some work with the people of Vietnam. And they weren't sending any women over. Nixon was bringing the troops back, and they said, I'm sorry, where else would you like to go? And I went, Boston. I want to go to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. So fast forward, I'm at Fort Devens, Massachusetts. I'm one of maybe 3 female officers on post. And I'm really new, but so is my cohort in crime as well. And the post commander calls me into his office. So I saluted, went to parade rest. I said, Sir, Lieutenant Frank, sir. He goes, ah, yes. I have a mission for you. I go, excuse me, sir? I want you to lead my recruiting team. I've got members from every branch here, including the special forces, the folks in the motor pool, and I want you to lead them. I panicked. I went, oh my God, I can't get up in front of a group of people. I especially can't get in front of high school students. They'll eat me alive. Then I looked at I thought of my friend. She's an English teacher. So I turned to him and I said, Sir, you don't want me. You want Lieutenant Smith. She is an English teacher. She is a brilliant speaker. She's spoken in front of hundreds of students, and I know she'll do a fantastic job. You really want her, don't you? Lieutenant Frank, if I wanted her, she would be here. I want you. You will lead my team of recruiters, and you will do a stunning job. Dismissed. Yes, sir. Now, you realize that this is the Vietnam War. Please tell me, how popular was the Vietnam War? How many men or boys wanted to join the United States Army? 0. Well, we went out, we did huge rallies in the gymnasium with a microphone, something I also said I would never do. And we told our stories. Now, I have to tell you, I was in love with the Special Forces guy. He had the best stories in the whole wide world. I just told them about me and my horses and why I liked being in the military and why I had joined. I talked about my fiance and why I joined. I recruited twice as many students as my counterparts. I was successful. Do you think I still wanted to stand up in front of groups of people and talk? Not on your life. Shortly thereafter, I was transferred back to Fort McClellan, Alabama. By the way, there was a pattern. You went out, you came back. You went out, you came back. Didn't matter how long you were out. You could be 6 months and you went back. Well, this time I thought, I want to be in command. I want to be on the command side, not the service side. So I became a platoon officer in a brand new company, brand new battalion. And I had to do my first class. And I get up and it's awards and decorations and bugle calls. How exciting is that? And I had to do it word for word for word. Memorize, not me. I did okay. I got through it, but I had one question, and that was, do you have to be dead to get the Medal of Honor? Yes. The answer, of course, is no, you don't. And with that, my evaluator in the back of the classroom stands up and she says, no, and that's the end of this presentation. You're dismissed. Ooh. So I walked back, I saluted her, and she said, Lieutenant Frank, if you don't do a better job on your next class, you will be eliminated. So I learned how to interact with my class. I learned how to ask questions and to keep them awake. I then got a chance to teach everyone else how to do that so that they had exciting, wonderful classes as well, and they didn't have to memorize anything ever again. Those are my influencers. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.